Welcome to the LEC post-game lobby. I'm Drakos, joined by Carzzy and Kaiser. I almost said I'm Carzzy, which I'm definitely, most certainly not. If you've seen my AD carry skills, you'd know that for sure. Gentlemen, commanding win. We heard from Elio already. I'll be honest, you guys were kind of the underdogs coming into the day. A lot of fans expected this to be, you know, the Rogue and G2 show in playoffs, and you have certainly upset that. How does it feel to take down Rogue? I would say pretty convincingly towards the end there.
I mean, for me at least, it feels really good because like a lot of people doubt us when it comes to stage because like they see our Worlds performance, for example, or they see our like playoffs games against Rogue last year. We got like 3-0 stomped. We got in Worlds we like kind of got stomped as well, and they just say like, yeah, these guys they just can't perform when it matters, and like just performing when it matters now, like in playoffs against Rogue, who were like our Arc Nemesis, I guess, like the rookie team that also came up. It just feels super good.
Yeah, pump that narrative. That's what we
yeah,
Arch
exactly,
Nemesis. Good job.
Brief me.
Yeah. Carzzy, what do you think is different here from the Worlds performance? I know when Worlds happened, Mac was very vocal. It was obviously a very different situation. You guys had like a 14-day quarantine. You couldn't get all your support staff into the country. So, but like, what is different now for playoffs coming into stage for the first time that is now allowing you to perform? Like, what's the biggest difference for you?
So I think the biggest difference is that we got used to stage for some reason, I don't know, but right now we are playing well on stage. And also the roster changes helped a lot, of course. So I'm not quite sure what else I would say. Well, I just think that in this team we have so much potential and we are having fun even though we were losing in those games, we were laughing. So I think that's a big factor.
Yeah, and I think that like having that sense of humor, we've seen how good it's been for so many different teams in Europe, and the fact that you guys were able to have such a successful day is fantastic, I imagine, for that stage confidence. Shifting back to this season, though, less back to Worlds, less to stage performance. In the last few weeks, it felt kind of shaky for Mad. We saw a lot of games across the entire season, even one versus Rogue in week 7, where it felt like you found these leads, you found these early advantages, and you weren't really able to transition it into these big wins. So I'm curious, again, in a similar vein, what changed for you guys in the 2 weeks of practice? Do you feel like there were significant leaps in terms of performance? Is this just you guys being more consistent on stage? Like, what was the biggest thing that changed in this series in terms of team performance?
Should I answer?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so I think the biggest change is that we completely changed the playstyle and we started playing mainly around bot, and it's just working for us.
I mean, it definitely is. And I think the fans at home could see that too. We had El Yo-Yo with the chain ganks in the bottom lane. We saw you guys setting up with the Jinx and the Thresh, obviously transitioning more into the Kaiser. I'm curious, in this series specifically, there was one moment that I think really stood out to me where it really felt like the team had confidence in you guys, and you guys really manifested that and made that work, and it was game 2. Even as we look at some of these highlight clips, right? Because in the first Jinx game, you guys were able to find a small lead. It didn't ultimately work out for you. But despite how difficult it looked, at least for us on the outside, to play into the Senate Cho'Gath, you ran the exact same lane phase back. Was that just total confidence in the pick? Was that confidence from the team? Why? Explain to me that decision kind of in the moment, why you guys decided to go for that again.
So like we thought the lane was actually kind of good for us. I think like Senna Cho is not really that strong in lane. Like for example, Cho'Gath, he kind of dies if you hook him, and I managed to land a hook in I think game 2 on him, and we got first blood. And once like Jinx gets snowballing, like there's not really that much you can do into it because she has like 750 range or something. Like she can just run you down whenever she wants, kind of. And Thresh helps her with like getting out of sticky situations. So I think we just like the combo. Senna Cho'Gath is obviously a bit annoying because like they have a lot of like range, they have a lot of like stuns. Like if you get hit by one thing, you get hit by the other as well. And they have a lot of bursts as well. But like we identified that if we just like manage to like survive this burst, like manage to kite a bit back, we should be able to win this game. And I think like first game was a bit unlucky as well because we got invaded a few times. I think Merrick had to base and they got like 5 plates on Azir. And once Azir gets like rolling a bit, like Larsen plays it really well as well. So we just couldn't find an engage. And then yeah, the game was just over kind of.
Yeah, game 1 and 2 did really feel like Larsen versus you, Carzzy, where we had you very fed on the Jinx, Larsen very fed on the Azir. Obviously, game 1 went in his favor, but game 2 did work out for you guys as you just kind of came through and just rolled the rest of the series. When you think about it, one of the things that I found kind of most interesting watching this series is the level that we saw from El Yo-Yo, and we heard a little bit from him in the interview, but I'm curious, as you guys have been rookies yourself, how do you think his first split as a rookie maybe compared to yours? Is he more confident than you guys were? Do you think it's comparable? Like, what has been different about his rookie split, let's say, compared to some of the experiences that you guys have?
I think that Elia is like 10 times better than us when we were rookies. Like he came and it felt like he's better than half of the LEC junglers already.
I mean, he showed it. As you can see the clips now, he's popping off against Inspired, the people that are the guy that most people would put as #1 jungler in the league overall and a big MVP candidate. So I'm stunned. So outside of the attack or the very tangible things of in-game performance, Kaiser, what is it that you think that he has that maybe you had some of as well, but like what do you think puts him above the rest of the rookie competition? Why was he able to come in and just dominate? Is he just that good mechanically?
I mean, I think it's like just both. Like I think he's just a really versatile player. I think he like plays almost all champions in the jungle. Like he can play both like the ganking junglers like Volibear. He can play the farming junglers like Graves. I think what's really like surprising to me as a rookie, like usually you don't really have like the strategic thinking of like a veteran player. So like what he brought to the team is like really like a vocal shot caller, I guess, in the early game especially. And yeah, he's just really smart about the game. And like he like in reviews, he always thinks about like what could we have done better. And like even us get sometimes surprised by how smart he is, right? So I think that's just really cool to see that like a rookie like him is just that smart already. So.
Yeah. And nothing but respect for performance for so far. And I'm going to just continue this train of you guys praising each other. But Carzzy, it's your turn now to tell me why your support is so good, because he did win Kia Player of the Series with 70% of the votes. Thresh, Alistair, what is it that makes Kaiser, just like the perfect duo bot lane partner?
So I think that the answer is really easy. It's because I'm giving him a lot of love. I'm buying him sweets. I'm giving him what he likes. It's just that simple.
Guys, ever since Duo Q, I felt like you had this like long, strong, loving connection, and it just feels like it just continues to grow every time I see you. The anime bonds are just strengthening every week.
The bonds of friendship, actually, and you can't break them.
Yeah, we are the best friends now.
All right. Well, one team that might want to break that is G2, your opponents next week. Before we talk about that matchup, I've got to know, do you think right now in Europe, you guys are the undisputed second best team?
So I wouldn't say undisputed. I think like we won against Rogue, right? But I think they didn't perform how they like used to. I think like especially like a few meta changes or like patch changes kind of hurt them as well. For example, the Azir nerfs, they were kind of huge for Azir, and Larsen is kind of a, I mean, I wouldn't say one trick, right? He plays other champions to a really high level as well, but they really like obviously they preferred, and those kind of nerfs like really hurt like your team as well. And you kind of like saw it that like in some games he just couldn't carry where maybe he could have carried before, right? I think Rogue is still like a really strong team, and I think they can for sure contest us. Like I'm not gonna say we're like super far ahead of them or something just because we like won a series. But yeah, like I think we still have to be careful. But I think we would like right now. I think it's not undisputed, but yeah, I mean,
you guys can't see because it was off camera. I gave him this look that was like, bro, you gave me the narrative on the other one. You sure you can't just play it up for the fans a little bit? Give me that. We are top 2. Everybody else sucks. No
actually, just one up. Like we are gonna beat G2 3-0. That's fine.
Clip it and ship it. That's all the context I need. Looking at that matchup, though, I think that G2 played a very, very close series against Schalke. Now, there's obviously an argument that Schalke stepped it up pretty significantly. Some people say that G2 were struggling a little bit. But what is your read on that series? You guys are one of the few teams who have historically beaten G2 in a best-of-5. Obviously, this is a new lineup. Circumstances are very different. But how do you feel right now about that series? What is like the biggest focus point, do you think, when it comes to Mad Lions preparing for G2?
So I think that G2 actually didn't show up to their potential, and they played like, from my view, it looked like they played at like 50% or something, because they were playing completely different than they, for example, do in scrims or like in other official games. So it was kind of weird, but also Schalke, they surprised me, especially Julius, because he wasn't playing, but I was expecting Julius to feed, but he was smurfing.
I love it. You just kind of the most backhanded compliment I've ever heard, but it works out. How confident are you then, full strength G2? How confident are you in your chances? Because 50% G2, it sounds like a doable task for Mad Lions. But full strength G2, obviously the big bad, the Titan, the back-to-back, whatever, the big bad guy here in the LEC. So how confident are you in that series when G2's full strength, with Mad Lions full strength? What do you think that looks like?
I mean, I'm sure that we can beat them. I think that our roster right now can beat anyone in Europe.
I like that. Full confidence. Good. See? This is good. This is what we want. This is the clickbait.
Okay, okay. I'm learning.
I'll relieve you guys of the pressure of talking about your own games because I know that that's something that you guys are going to have a day off. You can stop thinking about G2 for at least a day before you start your next week of preparation. I want to instead look at the lower bracket. Lower bracket, a big deal. One team at least is going to have to play double best-of-5s in a single weekend. Schalke versus Fnatic, the first matchup. Winner of that, of course, playing Rogue. Winner of that, then playing the loser of G2 versus Mad. But you guys have locked top 3, so congrats on that. Not a bad finish for spring, regardless of the results. That said, Schalke versus Fnatic, Rogue versus somebody. What's your take on how this is going to play out?
So I think Schalke is actually like a pretty good team, but I think they will not like they have a worse matchup against Fnatic than versus G2 because like I think G2's bot lane, they're not that like aggressive. I think I think Schalke's bot lane will have much more troubles like getting Limit out of the laning phase, getting those roams off that he's like known for. Like Limit really smurfed against G2, for example. But I think Fnatic is better at like shutting down bot lanes, like shutting down the supports, the AD carries, you know. Like, and I think it's really hard for Schalke to then find an opening because like I think Limit is like their kind of carry player, and I think if Hylissang upset just continue to dominate like how they did in regular season, then I think it's going to be hard for Schalke.
And Carzzy, for you, which of these teams do you expect to be facing for the loser of G2 versus Mad? Sorry, that's the worst phrase question of all time. Which of these teams do you expect to advance up into the semifinals?
I'll give him all my predictions. I think that Fnatic is gonna beat Schalke and then Rogue is gonna beat Fnatic.
You feel like it's pretty cut and dry? Do you feel like there's any big rooms for upset, or do you think that based on what you've seen?
I think that Rogue and Fnatic is gonna be kind of close again, but I'd say that Rogue is gonna learn from their mistakes and also draft better in the next week. So I think that they are gonna win. It might be 3-1, but they are gonna win.
Yeah. And so when you beat G2 next week, who faces you in the final? Is it the rematch? Is it the G2 versus? It's the rematch.
Yeah.
That's all you need to look forward to. I'm thrilled for it. After today, I'm pumped for the potential rematch. Of course, gonna have to stick around next week. 3 back-to-back best-of-5s, but that's gonna be all from us here tonight. Be sure to stick around for the LCS Dignitas versus 100 Thieves, and of course we'll be back next week for round 2 of spring playoffs. We'll see you guys. Wait, PGL selfie. They're literally here. We have to do the selfie. No. Distance, I can't get close to you. Never mind. We'll take it from a distance at some point. I'm sorry, Shocks. Everyone at home, I'm doing it. You can't. It's just going to be really far away and really awkward. Gentlemen, prepare for the worst selfie of all time. Socially distanced, people. Be responsible. Also, LCS is on. I don't know how to end this anymore. This has been week 1 of playoffs here in the LEC. We'll see you guys next week. Welcome back to Berlin, Germany, stage for the LEC playoffs. Today we're closing out round 1 as Mad Lions and Rogue fight for the right to challenge G2 Esports. Both teams ended top 3 in the regular season, setting the stage for a great battle in today's best-of-5 series.
Oh, the feral scream feast! Rogue eats Mad Lions for first place. Nom, 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 nom. Perfect job in by LS's bra.
Let's watch this one more time, okay? Fog 4 everywhere.
Blinds?
No way. No, this is
Blinds?
That's not okay, dude.
What? F's in the chat for Trimby. Shockwave catches on him with head trick and keeps him alive. Oh no, escapes with his life. It's Alyoya that's down. Larson finds Carzzy. He's got an aim bot lock, the Mad Lions bot. Rogue with a statement win in game 1.
One heck of these champions diving into you. Trimby gets pulled right back.
Gets pulled back, cannot escape. Larson will buy some time. Trimby survives with his life.
Huge.
Oh, Alyoya! Dashes forward once again. Cyclone is a few seconds away. Here comes Alyoya bringing the thunder to Rogue. 2 more kills to the Mad Lions.
Okay.
He does indeed. Will not be able to really land onto Carzzy, and that was a fantastic shockwave from Humanoid. Carzzy's found one, Elyoya's found another, and Rogue are wrecked. And Hansama, that's engaged. That's Carzzy jumping all the way forward. He's flown up. Mad Lions have done it. They've got Lawson. They've got Hansama. They've aced Rogue. Any questions or concerns about the Mad Lions players performing on stage can be answered and put to bed right now.